In this video, I'm going to do cutout technique, probably the only one that is a bit easier to do on tips rather on forms. I will use the Modelones Pantone collection. This is acrylic powders collection, which includes the trendiest colors of the season. Coming up. Hello guys, Anastasia here. Let's open up this cute colorful box by Modelones. This is the collection of acrylic powders and we have something in here. Alright, this is the postcard and also there is a detailed instruction. There are 12 colors in the kit. Each jar is 10 grams and I like that they changed the seal. Now it's plastic, which in my opinion is very convenient. This is one of my favorite colors of this collection, electric blue, and I wanted to show you the application and the consistency of the product. I'm using Modelones for 2 years now and I'm always satisfied with the quality of the colors because they do not clog the brush and the pigment is very good. So we have electric blue, there are also 2 neon colors, which is orange and yellow, 2 pastel colors, 3 glitter colors and 4 fall shades. So this collection includes only the trendy Pantone colors. I had a little marbling issues with the light blue color, but all the rest of them are working great. I think I'm going to use at least 5 of them because we are going to do a multicolored diagonal cutout design. At some point I realized that if I would like to do it on forms, it is going to look different. Because when doing forms, I always pinch the nails, so we will have a deep C-curve, and with the C-curve, this diagonal line is going to look different. And I wanted to achieve this classic look of the cutout diagonal line, so this time I'm going to use tips. Honestly, I'm a little worried because it's been a while since I used tips. As you know, I always use forms only. But actually, when I started back in 2004, I was using tips only for the straight 2 years, I believe. When I was taking my first classes, they showed me how to use forms as well, but I never liked the result I was getting. I was applying too much product, then I was filing too much, and I just never liked how the shape looked. So I thought that I'd better use tips instead. At least when you have a tip, you have a shape to follow as you apply the product on top. Meanwhile, I proceed to dry manicure to prep the nails for the application. After pushing back the cuticles with electric nail file, I'm going to trim the cuticles and the aponychium with manicure scissors. And no, it doesn't hurt. I get this question a lot. It is not supposed to be painful. It should be completely painless. At this point, our nails are ready for the application. So when you're doing tips, it's very similar to a general prep. I already took off the surface shine because there was an old product. Then I apply dehydrator, and this is all we need before applying tips. You need to pick the sizes that are going to match the width and the size of the nails, and once you do, we can apply them with a special tip glue. As I was working with these tips, I was like, oh my god, I wish we had a tips like that back in 2000s. Because in early 2000s, the tips were nothing like that. There was no C-curve, they were not thin at all, and they were like completely different. These contact zones sometimes were so huge that we used to cut it out with the scissors because it was the only way to apply it on the nails. And now as I work with these modern tips, oh my god, it's just so much easier. Well, my client said that she doesn't really want this length, so we are going to trim it probably in half. This is the moment when I realized, oh my god, they are not going to be coffin anymore, so I guess we're doing square shape. We need to take off the shine from the tips, which you can do with the buffer. Actually, I think you can even skip this step with these new tips, but we still need to slightly file the tip to make it on the same level as the nail plate. And at this point, we need to be super careful. Do not file the nail. Try to file only the tip and nothing else. almost ready, and now we need to do a little bit more prep to apply the product. So you can reapply dehydrator, then you apply non-acid primer to the nail plate. I'm going to use Modelones Acrylic liquid, also known as monomer, as well as the brush. However, I decided to use the brush only for the color part, because it's always better to use the separate brush for nude colors as well as for the color powders. Traditional cutout technique usually means that you need to apply the product like you would normally apply it. Let's say if you would like to build the entire nail, and then you simply cut out the parts that you do not want to, and you can fill it with any other color. But unfortunately, I just couldn't do it. Like, my brain and my hands just didn't want to do anything extra. These little voices in my head just kept saying, it's gonna be an extra work, it's gonna be a waste of product. So I decided that I'm still going to apply it, as we do not have this diagonal part. And then we still are going to use this knife to cut out this part to make it crisp. So I'm working with a brush, and actually the cutout technique, even though it's called cutout, it doesn't mean you have to literally cut something out. You can still do it all with the brush. But using any other tool is more beginner friendly, because when you start working with acrylic, it sets up too fast, and if you use something else, it just makes it easier. I don't really need to cut something. I would say I will just slightly push it to the side, like this, with the body of the knife, and this is how we get this super crisp line. Before doing this, I applied a little bit of clear powder on top of the knife, so it is not going to stick to the product. And then we repeat the same procedure. So this is very similar to when you are doing reverse French technique, but the difference is that we're not making the classic smile line, we're just doing this part. So you need to keep in mind that the structure of the nail should remain the same. We do not apply too much product on the sides, and we apply a little bit more in the center where the apex will be. Now let's do the fun part, fill it with the colors. By the way, since we're working on tips, we can do this nail bed first on all nails and then fill it with the color. I decided to use this one. This is neon yellow and a little bit more like green neon. So this color is somewhere in between, like lime neon color. And by the way, if you accidentally will take the consistency that is a little wet, in this case, it's okay because we already have the product on the nail. So all you need to do is just to make sure that it's filled all the way to the top. And if you accidentally apply too much color on top of the nude, do not worry, because this is the idea of this technique. Once we file and shape the nails, the line will be perfect and crisp. Well, you will see it in a few moments. Next color is red, but this is not like classic Christmas red. This is a little bit of pinky red. And by the way, the classic red is also included in this kit, so it will be perfect for holiday season too. I also forgot to mention that these colors are definitely beginner friendly, because now we have the central heating system on and it's super hot inside, and still I have plenty of time to apply the color, so it is going to work if you are still struggling with acrylic setting up too fast. I will leave all the links as well as the discount code in the description box. And once again, my little voices inside my head are telling me, Anastasia, you need to make this line perfect even on the top. Yes, I'm aware that when we file it all, it is still going to be crisp. I just need to make it look perfect from the beginning. Let me know if you have this problem sometimes too, because I don't know, I just do not feel comfortable when I apply something and it is not perfect yet, because I'm always worried that the client is going to see it and be like, oh my god, what is that? Even though they don't really do that often. Are you ready for the most satisfying part? This line looks pretty good, right? It's straight, but once we file the excess product from the top with the nail drill, now it looks super crisp. Oh my god, I really like this moment. It's probably the same level of satisfaction as when you apply the top coat on the glitter nails. But even then, I do not recommend to apply too much product on the top because you know the rule. The better you apply the product, the less you will need to file. Since we use tips this time, this is most of the filing that we need to do to file a little bit on the top to make this line more crisp. And we already have the sidewalls, we already have the free edge, so there's not much filing over there. I'm going to use a 180 grit hand file to fix it, and now let's seal it with Modelones top coat and see the final look. So I used the different color for each nail, and by the way, I think they look together pretty good, even though at the beginning I was a little worried that they're not going to match. Cure in LED for 30 seconds, there is no tacky layer, so we're good to go. Let me know, guys, what do you think, and do you use tips sometimes? I'm really curious because I'm really thinking that probably most nail technicians are using forms currently. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time here on my channel, consider subscribing, as I post new tutorials and product reviews just like this one every week. See you in my next one. Goodbye!